Hey, welcome back. This is the portrait art, and this is a drawing I did of a character from a TV show that I really enjoy. Some of you may know it. It's Legion, real name David Haller, played by Dan Stevens, from the network FX. Now, if you haven't heard or seen this show and you enjoy any kind of supernatural themed program, I don't even want to call it a Marvel comic show because that would make it sound a bit less complex. With this show, all that supernatural stuff, as fun as they are often used as a backdrop that explores the human psyche from all weird angles. So at least I feel it is a little bit more cerebral and philosophical than some of the mainstream stuff. Anyway, sadly, despite the good reviews from critics and audiences alike, this show's final season is going to be the third season, scheduled to be released soon. The main character Legion, the son of the one and the only Xavier, whose portrait I'm drawing right now, apparently the actor is also in Downton Abbey, which I don't know anything about. I do know he starred in this smaller, kind of went under the radar movie called The Guest, which was a very interesting and fun movie, so check that out if you get a chance. Now, regarding this portrait, since it is a celebrity, I have a lot of reference to go on and making sure things are correct. A good chunk of early stages of this piece, it probably doesn't look like him, despite that I marked main features and mapped out the shadows. But at some point it started to look a lot more like him. And I think besides the eyes, that tiny bit of reshape of the bridge of his nose played a huge part. This just goes to show you how important all the different elements are on the face. Often, even if the eyes are drawn and structures are done, if you mess up on certain shapes and tone values, you depict a different underlining form to the viewer and it end up looking like somewhere else. So once this drawing starts to look like Legion / Dan Stevens, everything gets easier. I find the eyes really interesting and it's a testament to his acting. It feels totally different from his other role I have seen. The impression, especially at first, he gives you in Legion is this weak, troubled, and dorky character. Pretty much the complete opposite from the movie Guest, and I would imagine vastly different from his character in Downton Abbey. In this portrait, there is this very intense gaze. This is a few seasons in. There's this very intense gaze, but also a bit of crazy and, a bit of intimidation factor in there. There's no calmness to it. I guess it signifies his unique perception of this world, what he has been through, and his new idea of this difference and contrast between him and the rest of the population, which wasn't there in the first season. He now looks at you like a kid finding a new interesting bug to play with, right? Of course, it is a lot more complicated than that, especially given his personality, but I'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything. From just a visual perspective, the eyes are opened wider. The angle of the eyebrow is tilted a bit more, but not so much that it denotes anger. And there are two very distinct and strong eyebrow lines, more commonly known as frown lines, and yet he's not frowning. And there is a slight up curve of the lips, which we normally would perceive as a smile or smirk, but in this case, it is completely eclipsed by the rest of his expression, mainly the eyes. This is why people say we smile through the eyes. And in this case, the eyes are contradictory, right? Well, that's probably not the best word. I would say the eyes completely took over and overshadowed the upward curve of the lips. I put a bit of black background on the side of his head that is lit up by the light to increase the perception of contrast. This causes a little bit of an imbalance of composition, so I added a little something to the right. It's very different from what I originally wanted to do background-wise, but I remember this one episode that deals with parallel timelines, and so as a nod to that episode, I added a bunch of lines, which added a little bit more interest and weight to the right side, and that hopefully provided a little bit more balance to the drawing as a whole. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks to my patrons who continue to support me. My learning patrons will receive the real-time video. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to hit that bell and select the correct option to really subscribe to this channel these days. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Any questions, just leave it in the comments. Cheers and have a beautiful day.